the state of the game right now, and you mentioned a little bit about the 40% decline in viewership.
Right.
Where is it going?
You have a duty that if they're wanting to see you, and as an entertainer, I want to show.
Stop the traveling, stop the carrying the ball, stop the moving screens, call the damn game according to the rule book, because players will adjust.
Something's wrong with the NBA. The arenas are still packed. The players are more athletic than ever, and the league is making billions. But somehow, fewer people are watching. Ratings keep dropping. Casual fans are tuning out, and even diehards are saying it out loud. The NBA just isn't the same anymore. What used to be the most competitive, drama-filled league in sports has turned into something many fans barely recognize. Games that once felt like wars now feel like exhibitions. Rivalries have faded, intensity is gone, and the regular season has become background noise. Viewership peaks only during playoffs, and even then, the numbers aren't what they used to be. Something's missing. The passion, the storylines, the stakes. You scroll through social media and see the same highlights, the same step-back threes, the same empty celebrations, but no real emotion, no sense that the outcome matters. It's like everyone's playing the same brand of basketball stripped of personality, pride, and consequence. And if you ask the legends who built this league, they'll tell you straight, the NBA has lost its soul. This isn't about nostalgia or hating change. It's about a league that used to mean something. It used to make you feel something. Now, struggling to hold the same power it once had. Today, we're breaking down exactly why so many believe the NBA is dying, and why, for some, it might already be dead. Magic Johnson doesn't sugarcoat it. To him, the decline of the NBA starts with one phrase: load management. Back in his era, stars played every night. No excuses. Fans paid to see their favorite players, and those players showed up ready to go to war. Magic often says that the bond between players and fans comes from consistency. Knowing your idol would be on the court, fighting for your city every single game.
Even for me, I love the NBA game, but then I turn on to a game, right? And then the stars are not playing because of load management. It's hurting the game. And I was with Michael Jordan, not last summer, summer before last. We ran into each other in Europe. And he says, Irvin, I don't know why these guys, because if you look at his record, he almost played every game like 5 or 6 times throughout his career. He didn't miss one game. He played in every game. We wanted to play in every game.
But now it's different. Magic's frustrated that today's stars can sit out perfectly healthy because of rest. He believes it's killing the league's rhythm and credibility. Magic argues that basketball is built on trust and routine, and load management breaks both. It doesn't just make players softer, it makes the league forgettable. It's not about hating the new generation, it's about accountability. If the best players can't play when it counts, then what are we watching for? As Magic sees it, that's when the NBA started losing its magic. Kendrick Perkins doesn't hold back when he talks about today's NBA. To him, load management is the clearest sign that the league's mentality has changed, and not for the better. Perkins, who came up in an era where playing through pain was part of earning respect, sees modern stars sitting out back-to-back games and calls it what it is: a joke.
Now all of a sudden you got guys sitting out, all of a sudden you got guys forcing their way out, and it's doing a disservice to the guys that's coming up underneath them.
And also the future of the game is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Because all the guys being available is what raised the ratings, which raised the money, which raised the salary cap, which raises the lifestyle.
So I was preaching when all this like Ben Simmons nonsense, wanting to get out of Philly, James Harden forcing his way out of Houston, and then forcing his way out of Brooklyn,
and then forcing his way out of Philly.
Exactly, right. So I was like, the owners are gonna be waiting on them at the front door.
But for Perkins, it doesn't stop there. He's been just as vocal about another issue. The power players have to force their way out of teams whenever things don't go their way. In his eyes, that freedom has gone too far. Instead of grinding through adversity, stars can now demand trades mid-season, form instant super teams, or abandon franchises that drafted and built around them. Perkins argues that this mindset ruins loyalty, chemistry, and the meaning of team success. Fans don't get to see dynasties grow, they just see constant reshuffling. Though load management and player empowerment have created a culture of convenience, and when winning stops being hard, watching stops being special. Isaiah Thomas has made it clear. The biggest reason today's NBA feels dead to him is because the game lost its balance. In his eyes, basketball used to be about a clash of styles: speed versus strength, finesse versus toughness. Now, it's just a three-point contest. Every team plays the same way: spread the floor, shoot from deep, avoid contact. To Isaiah, that uniformity has stripped the league of its personality and unpredictability.
Most nights you watching teams miss. And what professional basketball, what we used to like to think of is guys who got open, they were shooting 52, 53% from the field, 47 at the worst. And guys who shot 39%, the coaches would tell them, you can't shoot. You gotta pass to somebody else. You gotta pass to the shooter. So I think the product needs to be better from a visual standpoint. And I think all the coaches need to have different styles.
He remembers when driving into the paint meant earning your points the hard way. You had to take hits, get up, and keep coming. That physical battle defined rivalries, built respect, and made every possession matter. But with the rule changes that favor offense and penalize contact, he feels the essence of basketball has been watered down. That shift has drained the drama from the sport. Nobody fears going inside. Nobody defends like they used to. And the game's soul, the fight, is gone. What was once a war in the trenches is now just a shooting exhibition. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the NBA's all-time leading scorer for nearly 40 years, looks at today's game with mixed feelings. He respects the athleticism and skill of the modern player, but he can't help noticing how the obsession with the three-pointer has erased the art of the inside game. To Kareem, it's not just a stylistic change, it's a loss of identity.
Talent level of NBA players, they're going to be forgetting a lot about the guys that played in my era and the earlier eras of the NBA, because the talent level of the guys playing now has really risen. But they're not teaching the young kids how to score in the paint with their back to the basket, and therefore they don't. A lot of them don't get to learn the hook shot, and they don't get to realize that if you get close to the basket, a lot more of your shots will go in. They don't seem to understand that.
He's pointed out that the skyhook, the single most unstoppable move in basketball history, wouldn't even fit in today's game. Teams don't feed the post anymore, and centers are encouraged to camp out behind the arc, instead of dominating down low. Kareem sees that as a symptom of a larger issue: the league's obsession with analytics over instinct. Shooting threes might be efficient on paper, but it's taken away variety, beauty, and balance. In Kareem's eyes, the modern game has sacrificed creativity for numbers. The post-up, once a chess match of strength and skill, has become extinct. And with it, so has one of the most elegant eras of basketball. Michael Jordan, the ultimate competitor, has been blunt about it. He could never play in today's NBA, not because of the pace or the talent, but because of the mindset. Jordan has said countless times that the idea of load management goes against everything basketball stands for. In his era, playing every night wasn't optional. It was a matter of pride.
It shouldn't be needed, first and foremost. I never wanted to miss a game because it was an opportunity to prove. It was something that I felt like, the fans are there to watch me play. I want to impress that guy way up on top who probably worked his ass off to get a ticket.
Right.
You have a duty that if they're wanting to see you, and as an entertainer, I want to show, right? So if the guys are coming to watch me play. I don't want to miss that opportunity. Now, physically, if I can't do it, then I can't do it. But physically, if I can do it, and I just don't feel like doing it, that's a whole different lens.
The modern approach to rest has killed the league's fire. He's even joked that if he paid to see a superstar and that guy sat out healthy, he'd be furious. To him, sitting out games when you're capable of playing shows a lack of competitiveness, a lack of that inner drive that separates legends from everyone else. Jordan believes that's the root of the NBA's decline. Too many players treating the game like a pleasure instead of a privilege. He's not against evolution, but in his eyes, when the league normalized avoiding competition, it lost what made basketball worth watching. Effort isn't supposed to be optional. Jerry West, the logo himself, has been watching the game for over 6 decades, and few people understand its evolution better. But when he looks at today's NBA, what he sees disappoints him. The league has become far too soft, both physically and mentally. That laid-back attitude has drained the league's competitive soul. Now, he feels like players are more focused on image and relationships than on winning. The game's intensity has been replaced with a relaxed demeanor.
The thing that I most dislike about today's game, if a team is getting beat by 25 points and you've got your star players sitting over there laughing on the sideline, if I was the executive running that team, that person would be in my office the next day. And I want to know what's so damn funny. It's not, this is serious.
Is this the team losing or the team winning?
The team losing.
So if they're laughing over there.
I don't like that at all. I think it shows a disrespect for the game and for people playing that. But if you watch the NBA, it has changed so much over the years. It's about entertainment. Dan, the rules are so relaxed, okay? They are just so relaxed.
The toughness that once defined great teams and fierce rivalries has been replaced by comfort, smiles, and highlight reels. Players joke around mid-game, swap jerseys afterward, and rarely take losses personally. It's not about wanting players to fight or play dirty. It's about wanting them to care again. He's talked about how basketball used to demand toughness, not just physical, but mental. The NBA used to feel like life or death on the court. Now, it feels like a business meeting with sneakers. And that, he believes, is why the league feels lifeless. Charles Barkley has been saying it for years. The death of the big man is the death of real basketball. The modern NBA's obsession with small ball lineups and three-pointers has erased one of the most important parts of the game's identity. Barkley believes the league lost its balance when big men stopped posting up and started shooting threes.
Kevin Durant and Dirk Nowitzki, those guys are an anomaly, but I'm talking about big guys. But I don't understand why you would take your physical advantage away. Because number one, now big guys don't even get in foul trouble because they're out on the perimeter.
Watching 7-footers launch step-back jumpers instead of battling inside drives Barkley crazy. In his eyes, the league used to be a beautiful mix of size, power, and skill. Now, it's all about pace and space. And while that might look good statistically, it's not the basketball fans fell in love with. Centers and power forwards used to dominate the paint, control tempo, and dictate toughness. Now, they're expected to play like guards. The decline of the big man symbolizes everything wrong with today's NBA. It's flashy but hollow. The fundamentals are gone. The physical battles are gone, and the post dominance that made legends is now a forgotten art. Ray Allen, one of the greatest shooters to ever live, isn't against the three-pointer. After all, he helped define its importance. But even he admits the NBA has gone too far. In Ray's eyes, the league's obsession with shooting from deep has erased one of basketball's most beautiful weapons, the mid-range jumper. The mid-range was where players separated themselves, where skill met instinct. Now, it's considered inefficient.
I think the game is still extremely entertaining. There is a lack of appeal to it right now watching it because there's so many different dynamics to the game that are being lost. I actually said this a couple of days ago on my Instagram feed, is that the mid-range game is being lost.
Ray often points out that the greats who built their legacies from mastering that space between the arc and the paint, it was about footwork, timing, and reading defenses. But analytics changed everything. Coaches started discouraging mid-range shots entirely, and players grew up thinking it's the wrong play. He believes that when you remove the mid-range, you remove balance. Every team plays the same way. Every offense looks the same. And the beauty of improvisation disappears. The game may have evolved, but somewhere along the way, it forgot its craft. Shaquille O'Neal has never been shy about his opinions. And when it comes to today's NBA, he's made one thing clear: the league has gone soft. The decline of physicality and the disappearance of dominant big men are the biggest reasons the NBA doesn't feel the same anymore. Back in his era, every night was a war in the paint. Centers were enforcers, they set the tone, controlled the glass, and punished anyone who dared to drive inside. Now, Shaq looks at the league and sees 7-footers settling for jumpers.
He could dominate, and easily, because we have shifted away from physicality and shifted away from all that. Teams don't know how to play anymore. Like right now, teams are switching 1 to 5. I wish Spud Wade would have switched out on me. I wish Doc Rivers would have switched out on me. So if you get another guy that comes in, it'll be like it was back in the old day. There'll be one guy that you got to change your defenses for.
The physicality that once defined the game has been replaced by finesse and spacing. Shaq believes that when the league stopped rewarding inside dominance, it lost its backbone. There's no fear factor, no intimidation, no clash of power versus will. The balance between beauty and brutality without real big men battling down low. The game feels lighter, emptier. In Shaq's words, big guys don't dominate anymore. They just exist. And when dominance disappears, so does greatness. Rick Barry, one of the sharpest basketball minds to ever play the game, believes the NBA's decline doesn't start with the players, it starts with the officials. To him, the league's officiating has become inconsistent, biased, and overly protective. Barry has said that today's referees have too much influence on the outcome of games, and the constant whistles have destroyed the natural flow of basketball.
Well, because you get the officials to call it by the rule book. Okay. Stop the traveling, stop the carrying the ball, stop the moving screens, call the damn game according to the rule book, because players will adjust. If you're going to allow them to get away with it, hell, of course I'll keep doing it. Call the game according to the rule book. It's such an advantage to let a guy carry the basketball or take an extra step. That's ridiculous.
He's especially frustrated by how soft the game has become. What used to be a physical sport is now filled with flops, exaggerated reactions, and unnecessary stoppages. Barry often says the referees call fouls that never would have existed in his day. Contact that used to be just basketball is now a flagrant. The league's attempt to make the game cleaner has, ironically, made it less authentic. The real problem? The NBA has lost credibility because fans don't trust what they're watching. Too many questionable calls, too much star treatment, and not enough consistency. In his eyes, bad officiating hasn't just softened the game, it's broken its integrity. Patrick Ewing doesn't call today's NBA dead. He just says it's different. As one of the most dominant big men of the 90s, Ewing understands the evolution of basketball better than most. But even he admits the game he sees now barely resembles the one he played. It's not about blaming players or coaches, it's about how the league's priorities shifted.
You know, I think the game has changed, definitely. But you still need players to still do the same thing. You know, I think I'd still have to play defense and I still have to be able to score. You know, you still need someone to block shots, to protect the rim. But I was a player that did both. I played defense and then I still went down the other end and I scored.
He said that while he respects the skill of today's stars, he misses the fundamentals that once defined the sport. The footwork, the patience, the roles. For Ewing, the change isn't necessarily bad, but it does explain why older fans and former players feel disconnected. The league traded identity for efficiency, and in that trade, a lot of the game's soul got lost. Still, Ewing doesn't believe the NBA is beyond saving. He just believes it needs balance. A reminder that basketball isn't just about numbers or pace, but about emotion, toughness, and heart. Because evolution is fine, but tradition should never be forgotten. When you listen to the legends, a clear picture starts to form. It's not just one thing that's killed the NBA, it's everything. Load management, soft officiating, the obsession with threes, the lack of physicality, and the loss of emotion have all combined to create a league that feels polished but soulless. The numbers say basketball is thriving, but the feeling says otherwise. The old school players aren't just being nostalgic. They're defending a time when every game meant something, when rivalries were real, when stars didn't rest, didn't team up, and didn't complain to refs. They earned everything. To them, the NBA wasn't just entertainment. It was a test of pride, and that pride is what they believe has vanished. Today's players are faster, stronger, and more skilled than ever, but many of the legends feel they're missing what truly matters: heart. The willingness to fight through pain, to compete even when it's inconvenient, and to take every possession personally. Maybe the NBA isn't dead, maybe it's just lost its identity. But if the soul of basketball is built on toughness, competition, and passion, then the legends are right to be worried. Because no matter how many highlights or viral moments the league produces, none of it can replace the feeling of watching players who truly care. So the question now is simple: can today's NBA bring that feeling back? Or has the magic really faded for good?